Luke Bazin for Fighting Stance Media, bringing you 3 fights to watch at PA Cage Fights, which is going down March 31st, which is Easter Eve, this Saturday night at the Woodlands Indian Resort in Wilkes-Barre. And tickets only start as low as $30, which is a spectacular price. Paul's really bringing a great ticket price. So if you've never had a chance to go out to the Woodlands, check them out. I think it'll be a great night. So as always, I want to say that this is not to disparage against any of the other fighters. I just like, in regional MMA, I like to highlight 3 fights to watch in case you're curious, my opinion. But I'm sure all the fights will be fantastic. To start us off, I'd say Kelvin Sterling versus Max Potter. This is one of 5 fights to feature both fighters who are debuters. There's actually 11 fighters on this card that are 0-0-0, so brand new to amateur MMA. Of course, some people come to amateur MMA with heavy wrestling. They could have a kickboxing or Muay Thai record or background or BJJ international competition. We wouldn't really know that. This is just their MMA record, and I always think it's exciting to see how someone debuts. Kelvin Sterling is a little bit maybe more exciting to watch in the sense that he is the brother of Aljamain, the Funkmaster Sterling, who's currently, according to UFC rankings, ranked number 8 at bantamweight. That fight's going down at featherweight 145, so check them out. And check out all the fighters, all 11 fighters who are making their debut MMA fights. But that's the first fight to watch. The second fight to watch, I'm only going to refer to him as Vinny O, only because there's no way I can pronounce his last name, and I apologize. But Vinny O versus Nate Foltz. Vinny, this is for the 155 amateur belt, and these guys obviously probably will bring it and have a great fight. Vinny O is 6-1 and ranked 3rd in Pennsylvania, according to Tapology, as I use them, and 7th in the United States Northeast. He is fighting Nate Foltz, who is 4-1, 8 ranked in New Jersey, and 46th in the United States Northeast. So this is a great fight. Vinny O's only loss was a decision in his debut, so he is on a 6-fight win streak. His last fight was over a year ago, so whether or not you believe in ring rust or not will be interesting. It'll be interesting to know if he's coming off an injury. I don't know that. I'm just saying he fought a year ago, Vinio, but he is fighting Nate Foltz, who trains out of Nick Catone, which is a fairly well-known, famous, great gym in New Jersey. So check that fight out. And then the last fight to check out is the headliner main event, and main event for good reason. This is Sean Shorty Rock Santella, who's 19-6-1, going up against Charles Johnson, who's 6-0. Hopefully, if you're familiar with MMA in general, you know Shorty Rock, because he has bright pink hair. I interviewed him, I think, 2 years ago. He's a great guy. He's actually a professional teacher. He is a wonderful guy, great fighter. Not quite sure why he's not in the UFC. I know everybody that hosts him as a fighter always says that he really deserves to be in the UFC. I know Paul, the promoter, had actually done a shout out to Dana to come to the event, which I hope he does, don't know if he will, and sign whoever wins the 125-pound belt. Sean is actually defending this belt for the first time, but I did some research, and in case you're curious, he held the CFFC belt at least twice, defended it several different times. Ring of Combat and V3 fights, those are all pro titles he's held. He's actually fought, I have it written down here, he's fought in 13 pro previous, so this will be his 14th professional title shot, which is crazy to think of either as a challenger or the title holder, or sometimes they were open belts. But regardless, that's just an insane level of experience, and obviously his record 19-6 is pretty fantastic. He's won 14 of his 19 fights by finish, mostly submission, some knockout and TKO. This guy is very well-rounded, fantastic to watch. He's won 6 out of his last 7 and 3 in a row. And the 3 in a row, currently, his streak, they're all subs. They're all subs by chokes. I don't want to take anything away from his challenger. because the challenger is ranked, Johnson is ranked number 1 in Iowa, number 3 in Kansas and Missouri, and number 7 in the United States Midwest. So this is a well-ranked opponent coming in. 4 of his 6 pro wins are by finished, and this is his first pro title shot. So there will be a significant difference between title experience. Obviously, Shorty Rock really has the experience. And to just throw his numbers out, he's number 1 in Pennsylvania and number 1 of 61 pro 125ers in the Northeast. So I'd say check out everybody, but the main event will surely deliver, and hopefully whoever wins this fight will next fight in the UFC. So go check him out this weekend.